Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to the studio, people. It is Jason Gooner, and we are back for another episode of Reasoning Time. It's episode 26, people, and it's a special episode because we are into the September World Cup qualifying window for the Reggae Boys. Yes, the first of 6 matches. We'll have 2 in this window, 2 in October, 2 in November, and after those games, we will know our fate and whether or not we advance straight through to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Of course, we have other ways we could get there. We don't want to discuss those today at all. One game at a time is the mantra. So we're going to discuss this window in total, basically, today, focusing mainly on the squad. If you look at the title of the video, it says World Cup qualifying squad. Embrace change. Why do we need to embrace change? Because we are Chop and Change FC. Since the squad has come out, we have learned people aren't going to make it. People are injured. People doing detective work, not seeing players. We have heard some people replacing players. We're not really clear on who they're replacing, but we do have some news of who they're replacing. So, as usual, people, a lot of different communication going out about the team. Miscommunication, no communication in some senses. So it's just a lot that you have to decipher and get through. Luckily, we have a lot of people fully invested in the team, so we can get the knowledge and try to make sense of everything. So we have that Chop and Change FC. That's going to be the first part of the show. We just break down the squad in total, talk about those players in the squad, those that we have learned aren't going to be in the squad, and those we have replaced them with. And of course, the title or the main picture on the thumbnail is Issac Hayden. Issac Hayden, the key with an exclamation mark and a question mark. Why do I have both of those things there? We're going to find out in that discussion, people. So Issac Hayden, the key. I happen to believe one of those are more true, the exclamation or the question mark. We'll find out in the conversation. And then, of course, what would it be without a squad being dropped, without us having a discussion of the best 11 we can put out to face Bermuda on Friday, people? It's match day -2. Can you believe that? The Gold Cup, we feel like we're just cussing about the Gold Cup, how bad it went. And now we are here and the match is here. So, match day -1 on this channel, something you can always look forward to, is a tactical preview show. So we're definitely going to do that. Today I'll be doing some more analytic work, scouting work. I've watched a few of Bermuda's games. I went all the way back to there was a 5-3 game with Bermuda and Honduras. I wanted to watch that game again. And next up is the last 2 games they would have played, which would have been I was just looking at it earlier. I think Cuba was one of them. That's one of the games that I want to watch. And there was a second game I was going to watch. So I was going to watch their 2 most recent games after watching a game that so many people told me to go back and watch. I watched a piece of it when it was happening 5-3, that game against Honduras. But I went back to watch it in total. That was the Gold Cup prelim round. But next, I'm going to watch their second round, their last 2 second round games, which would have been in June of this year. So right when we played the 2 games against BVI and Guatemala, they played Cayman and Cuba. And I'm going to go back and watch the Cuba game where they beat them away from home. Probably won't watch the Bermuda Cayman game, but I'm going to watch the Cuba Bermuda game, and that mixed in with the Bermuda Honduras game, because I wanted to watch that game because it was a home game for them. The Cuba game I'm going to watch just because it's the most recent one that they would have played. And just try to get some stuff to bring to you guys in the tactical preview show, and hopefully, advisors given away for the national team, so you guys can watch the content and send it on to the coach. All right. Punroy, respect due to you, my brother. Drop a super sticker on the board to start the show. Yeah, man. Respect to Punroy dropping a super sticker on the board. Now, people, remember, this is YouTube, right? So on YouTube, it is very important that you guys do what you see scrolling on the screen there. You like, you share, and you subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. If it's the first time you're seeing the channel, people, this is a football channel. We discuss and break down football. We are Jamaican reggae boys, reggae girls, youth teams fans. The name is Jason Gooner, so you already know what comes with that. We are Arsenal fans as well, and we do cover the EPL and football in general. We do live watch-alongs as well on any game we feel like watching at the time. But yes, people, if you like football, you will like the channel and you will enjoy the conversation. All right, so think about subscribing. Big up to IR1. Loyal sub to the channel. Good day, fam bams. Ready for this stressful discourse? Well, that's one thing, you know. People, I've been doing the EPL content, the previews and the reviews, and a few times I've started the shows, and you know, it would have been when the squad would have dropped that day, or something about the Reggae Boys would have happened, and I'm not covering that content. And honestly, because of what I had one says right here, the stressful discourse, I have chosen to try to forward to the scene as close as possible to the game so that my stress level can be low. But that has not been the case because I'm still following everything. So stress is not going anywhere. So I might as well make a video. Also, happy election day to the politically inclined and happy hump day to the apolitical. Yeah, so obviously, you know, election day in Jamaica. I hope everything is safe as it can be. I know people get kind of carried away during these times. So my hope is that wiser heads prevail and peace will reign. Regardless of who wins and loses, people can understand that, listen, it is not life and death. It's important, but it is not life and death and not worth injury, harm, those type of things. You can have your passion. You can, you know, argue for your side being the better side, but there's no need to take it past that. Debate is where it should end, right, people? That is my message from, you know, somebody like me, you know. Take it for what it's worth. Bless up Joseph Brown in the building. What go on, my brother? Hope all is well. Yeah, man, we're going to have a discussion today. Bless up JG and all, says Punra. Yeah, man, big up again for the super sticker, Punra. We greatly appreciate it, my brother. Oh, and let's get this out of the way. A resounding boo for footy Chris Brown. Go. Oh, gosh. But I had one. We know what side she's on the debate. Yeah, I didn't have that in my title or anything because, I mean, what is there to talk about at this point? You know, we've heard what we heard from coach. We've heard what we heard. Well, really, we haven't heard anything from Greenwood. We just heard from the coach. And we've heard the sentiments from the fans. And I think like most things in Jamaican football, it's pretty much split 50-50. Some saying, listen, they kind of understand it's not the easiest decision. And, you know, maybe there are other factors at play besides just playing football, why he would not, you know, run and take the chance to help us to get to the World Cup, which he would indeed be playing in. And there are others who are saying, you know, make him move and go. My father being one of them. I just saw his post on Facebook. And I almost replied to it, but I'd rather just tell him when I talk to him on the phone what I think, because he, you know, I have no, if you want to beat Mason Greenwood for not playing based on what you know of the situation, because of course what we know, if you don't have any access to the player or his agent or his family, is that he took a long time to acquire the passport, has the passport now. So if you took all that time to acquire the passport, why would you not come to play? If that's how you view it and you are beating the player now, who am I to say, yo, you can't beat the player? Because you have the facts that you have been presented with, right? So yeah, I'm not going to beat people for that. But I hear a thing going around about, you know, he's really got the passport to avoid having a certain status in French league. He's not considered a non-EU player because of an agreement between, you know, some African, Caribbean, and Asian countries with France. But from my research and what I gather, just the fact that he's a Caribbean national by virtue of being a Jamaican national does not give him that exemption in Ligue 1. There are, in certain areas of society in France, it would give him exemption from certain things, but the French Ligue 1 and the football system itself doesn't fall under that, right? And that was just from me doing some research. So I think it sounds like a plausible reason, and I think some people, to justify beating him, need a bigger reason than him just turning down to play for Jamaica, because some people probably know that it's not really the greatest, most inviting situation for a player. Some people are not thinking about that at all. They're just thinking about World Cup one go, him can help with, him don't come, burn him. And look, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I'm not here to argue and tell people not to think a certain way, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, if we're going to argue and beat him, just make sure we just use facts to beat him. So let's not add layers that aren't even true into the whole equation. That would be my point. And see, but yeah, it's not a Mason Greenwood topic or show. That's just my little take on it since I had one brought it up. That's how I feel about it. Mason Greenwood, look, I don't know your side of the story at all. I've only heard what I've been told, and all I can say is not every time I'm told something from who I heard this from, it turns out in the end to be the actual thing that happened. So, you know my thing, people. I'm going to do my research, and eventually, some kind of way, the chain of information will lead me to someone who can get me closer to the actual thoughts of their camp. Yeah. Big up, Pastor Lansley Blake. What is going on? I watched Peace. I started to watch a program with you and Cranky with a very, 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 very high charge topic. I'll just say that. And it was quite intriguing, and I want to finish it, but I had to put on my football scouting hat and start to scout Bermuda and, you know, Trinidad to a lesser extent, because I'm a lot more familiar with Trinidad. So, you know, I will once we get to about match day -2 for Trinidad, I will really get into their clips. But I feel like I have a very good base knowledge, and I wanted to give Bermuda a little more time because I don't know them as well. All right. Big up Rob Smith in the building. Hope all is well with you. But I do want to go back and finish that program, Mr. Blake, probably after this international window is over, to be honest with you. Big up Travis in the building as well. Hope all is well. Travis, Chop and Change FC, one of the top information gatherers, telling us that Shaquan Davis out injured. Foster replace him. Told people on YouTube he was. They never believe me, shaking my head. Yes, I was one of them saying even if he was fit, he would still not be on the damn bench because Kemar Foster and Chambers are both better than him. So yeah, good luck to Mr. Davis. Hope he's fit quickly, because I don't want any player to be injured. But Mr. Davis, I strongly suggest that you look a move out of Mount Pleasant on loan or something, because I don't know when you're going to play, my friend. Shouldn't you be on the campaign? Oh, yeah. Travis can multitask. He's probably on the campaign right now. A MPA alone of goalkeeper. Well, what me want to know, Travis, is how MPA plan to play a match. If Chambers and Foster gone, a Marco Dina go keep the little boy, the young guy. Because Davis out injured, so that all three of your first line keeper them. Knowing Mount Pleasant, then probably have all two more older keeper we may not even know about. Big up Danny Dread in the building from early on. Manners and respect, always good perspectives and things. I think you are somebody that takes the information in, put it all together, and you usually have some good summary of your thoughts. You know, usually when I hear you speak on programs, you always have a unique perspective, and one that I think it's obvious you put a lot of thought into it before you start to talk, which I really like. You know what I mean? Bless up Tuffy Rudy in the building. Hope all is well, my brother. Yeah, man, we are in for a dog fight, people. The soup, turnover, and yeah, I don't know what we call what this is now. Mesa can stay wherever he is, says Rob Smith. Yeah, well, as I said, I am not here to change anybody's mind. I can only tell you my thoughts, and I did already. So, you can have it out in the comment section between yourselves. When I get in a them thing there. Blessings at Chile Wagwan. Yeah, man. Break from city to the headache of the reggae boys now. Tycoon in the building, Wagwan. But there, you know. Bless up to you, my brother. Anytime. Really enjoy your content and appreciate your hard work. Blessings, Maji. Really appreciate that, man. Yeah, man. The words mean a lot, brother. Glad you say, you know, I'm glad you see that it's actually some work that's get put in, and it's just not, you know, let me turn on the camera and just talk, you know, because at this point I feel like I have invested enough time into this that people that watch me would know that when I turn on the camera, I would expect you to expect something, right? So If I am ever at a place where I can't provide that to you, I'm not going to go live. Simple. Don't care about this reason. We have 6 games. You can't afford to miss 2. Anyone willing to accept this mad? All right. So yeah, so what Rob Smith just do a while ago, me not go do. Me not go tell a man him mad because he feel a certain way about something. Me realize like there's no why bother. If him feel that way, him feel that way. Me not have to feel that way. I mean, if I agree with how him feel, we can disagree. It's a part of life, you know. That's why half of Jamaica wear orange today and half of wear green, right? For the same reason. That is more for countries like Haiti. Yeah, Ronnie M, look, I refuse to go into it in detail on here. The same way I could have looked it up and find it and dig a little deeper than the surface to really get a true sense of what the agreement is about and what it pertains to in French society and in the setup there. Then you realize that it had nothing to do with the football. Funny thing is, someone asked you this question: what if Leon missed this window and you said he deserved the belt, so don't change for Greenwood? Funny thing, if someone asks you, what if Leon missed the window and you said he deserved the belt, so don't change for Greenwood? Well, that's the thing, Rob Smith. When he said deserve the belt, I'm sure he does saying that as a saying, but that don't even sound like something I would say. So I don't know. Maybe you're just saying hypothetically, if someone asked me, that would be my response. Or maybe you're saying I've actually said that in the past. I don't know. I'm not sure. But I'm not going to talk about that. Mason needs to be transparent. That's my issue. At least Bailey was straightforward and returned. Mason playing games. I don't like games. Yeah, I had one. Listen. And that's the thing, right? We haven't really heard from Mason at all throughout the entire process. Yes. I don't know what happened a while ago, people, but everything up and going on the network side. So I don't know why that happened a while ago. Bless up, Float. Hope you're well, my brother. Hope all is well. Honestly believe we should give him until the next window. Any players that have their passport who chooses not to play in any of the qualifying should not show when we qualify. Yeah, so that's something that I've heard a lot as well. Like, if the player really could have come from before, like, why should we just let them play when they are ready, especially if that time when they are ready conveniently is when we're already in the World Cup, It's very hard to argue against that, to be honest. We just have to be honest, man. We have to look at it how it is. If I am somebody, I'm a fan of Jamaica, and we see the players playing and they qualify and and then when the qualifier happen now, 10 players running, and the thing is, the whole thing is not so transparent to the point where we know when exactly people have their documents in hand. Like Mason was one of the few ones where when he got it, it's like, okay, Mason Greenwood has acquired a passport, and multiple people in the JFF were saying the same thing, that he did have it, which I would like to believe he does have it, So, but again, throughout the process, we have never seen Mason or his family, for that matter, really come out and say, yes, the plan is to represent Jamaica. We have just heard the things that would have to happen to make him play for Jamaica. We heard about the switch from the FA. We heard from JFF president, from others in the JFF, that he has acquired them now. So that's what we have to work with, Big up Germany. Hope all is well. Communicate. Yeah, man, it's an important thing. I'm of the opinion if he got the passport and didn't come, that's on him, and I'm not mad. It is what it is. Great baller. I will still watch his games. I don't know the full 100, so I will just move on. Yeah, and same way somebody can have this start. Same way somebody can have this start right here. Same way somebody can have this start right here. It's all a part of the spectrum of your reaction to the player and the actions going on. It is what it is. It is what it is. I think that it's time we move on from him after this window, says Jeremy Lee. So see, there's always going to be different ends of this whole spectrum on how to react to this thing. And can you honestly wrong somebody for having their reaction based on the facts that they know are what they deem to be facts, because people added in facts that aren't facts. So it depends on you know, which facts are you looking at the actual facts? Are you looking at the facts people have added on? Is it less about facts and more sentiment? Is it like you feel embarrassed by everything? Like, what is it? But however you feel will make your reaction different. I always said if Greenwood was to play for us, it would be after 2026, but I can understand the fans' rage. So Chile, and that's interesting you would say that, because maybe it's just so new to him, all of this. Like, he want to, you know, at this point he must feel comfortable football-wise, because you can see on the field he's like back to, you know, the trajectory he was on. He looks like to be back on that same trajectory now. But maybe he still hasn't grown accustomed to life after what he went through, because it's still, you know, it's not like people have forgotten. You know, it's still very fresh to a lot of people. They get their game postponed after 5 players. Okay, so they're good then. Go away with your nonsense. I understand your view on Mason, but when would you draw the line? Well, me personally, I would have never draw no line. I would have never draw no line, because for one, it's hard for me to draw any definitive line without the definitive information. That's why, Jeremy, like, it's hard for me to just say, based on what everybody I cook up and I tell me, this is what I think. So that's why I kind of stay away from it, because like I said, everybody know the saying, there's 3 sides to every story. So if me only I get one side, right, I only can work with the what's been out in the media. So we know certain things have happened to let me believe him have a passport, and he has applied to get the switch from England to Jamaica. There are certain facts that you can't refute that are out there to show that. But the part that I don't know is from Mason Greenwood, his family side, which people probably don't even care about, but I do, you know. And you can't wrong me for wanting to know that side as well, in order to really make a true judgment on everything. But if people want to make them judgment before hearing that side, so be it. I can't tell you how to come to your conclusion then. I just don't see the point in coming to any definitive conclusion until I hear from another party very, very invested in the whole situation. We don't hear nothing from them. We don't know nothing from their side, why this would have happened like this or anything, you know. I said that to you in a chat group, that we must respect the others' opinions also. Yeah, I'm trying to improve on that. Some would probably say I'm already too much thinking about the other people' opinion, and I should just be honest how I feel, which is what I'm doing, you know. But I don't know. I think that I can disagree with people, and that's it, you know. It's gonna happen from time to time. Big up Conroy Sterling, big up to Swamptivity out of the swamp. We max it in the building. Say facts means nothing in Jamaica reggae boys category. Pure emotional behavior. Yeah, it looked like me did freeze, but I don't know why. No, last week show someone asked if Leon missed the window to focus on Roma if it was okay, and you said no, this is a World Cup qualifying game. Yeah, but the thing is, like, Leon Bailey already played for us, Rob. So it's not like, you know, again, everybody and their mama tell me that Mason wanted to play for Jamaica. But Mason never tell me that, ever. So how can I beat him for not coming to something that he never told me he was coming to? You know what I mean? Like, if Bailey was to just say, I want to focus on Roma and he's fit and everything, then that's a whole different beating. You don't think so? You don't see the difference in those two things, Rob Smith? Let me know. Bless up Warren Webster. He's not a Jamaican player and never said he wanted to play. Yeah, exactly. Ask your dad this in 98. Marcus Gale and Frank Sinclair didn't help Jamaica to qualify. They sit and wait until we qualify and we will come. Then what the difference with Greenwood? Yeah, so Clive Smith, I was actually alive then, you know. I know I look like a young kid, you know, but I was actually alive then, so I know. I know Robert Earl was the one of that set that actually was around for at least the ending part of the qualifiers. I know Gale played the entire Gold Cup, and the friendlies leading up to that World Cup. I want to say Frank Sinclair also played the Gold Cup. So yes, they would have came over after we would have qualified, But another thing that you have to realize as well with those players back then is that doesn't necessarily mean they didn't have their passport before that, maybe as the qualification was going on, Simoes probably saw, all right, I can't just take all of these people yet if I'm gonna take them. You know what I'm saying? So it might not have been that they were just like getting the papers over the line and got it over when they did. Yeah, exactly. So he did play at the Gold Cup before. So it looks like they had a influx of players coming. Not an influx, but they had a few players coming for that Gold Cup in February before that World Cup in the summer. And Frank Sinclair and Marcus Gale would have been two of those players. And then Frank Sinclair went on to play all 3 games at the World Cup. Yeah, so I was around back then, Clive Smith. And big up to my dad as well. He's busy living his life, working, but I don't know, it's so many beach pictures and villa views. I'm beginning to wonder if he's working, Bless up Jagarns, hope all is well. Yeah, man, big up yourself. So what are these people talking about? Don't know. Everyone at some point, you have to just move on from these undecided players. Yeah, I mean, we have to go play the game, So you can't put Greenwood on the team sheet and he didn't actually fly to Jamaica. So Jason, does Greenwood as international clearance? Blue World Media House. To my knowledge, everything he would need to play is acquired. To my knowledge. And remember, my knowledge is from one party in the situation. I don't have the knowledge from Greenwood side, It was wrong then and it's wrong now. They created a split back then. Nobody like Wright, Earl, not even Marcus Gale. Yeah, I don't like Robbie Earl at all. But I also like the truth. And people, because they don't like Robbie Earl, said that he came for the World Cup, which is not true. We had the similar to this time, we had the September, October, and November window in '97, and he came from the September window, and then he was on the bench in the October window when we played USA, and then he came off the bench in the last 2 games against El Salvador and Mexico. So yeah, I don't like him, but he did play the last 4 qualifiers, The problem is that the JFF hired people that's selling info to fans and convince them in lies. So it's on the JFF. Yeah, well, look, as I said, we're only getting one side of the story in these situations. So, and I would like to think if you're getting the side of a story from one of the sides in the story, that side you're getting would want to hold that side of the situation in the best light, Not saying that they're not telling you the truth, but the truth is going to be framed in a way that will make them look the best. That's why it's important to seek the other side as well. So that when they are framing it their way, you can decipher between those two, okay, what would I seem more likely to be the truth? I'm giving Mason a pass on these 2 games, but if he don't come the next window, he can stay, says Malik. All right. If Jamaica loses to Trinidad, then new players might not want to come. Yeah, Ronnie M. I mean, that's another conversation that I don't think people really feel comfortable having, but they kind of have to have it. Like, are any of these players not coming just because of how everything looks from the outside? When people talk about the Jamaica setup and the Jamaica team, are you hearing positive things? What do you hear when you hear pundits? Take Jamaica YouTubers out of it. I'm talking about anybody out there, the CONCACAF people that talk about the teams. What do they say when they talk about Jamaica? Dysfunctional. If they could get their act together. Players have access to these things, and their teams, So sometimes those can actually cause the players not to come in. Mason doesn't even respect us enough to address us, says I had one. Well, I don't really see him addressing a lot, I think the only time I ever see him talk is when him sit down in front of the microphone at Marseille for a pre-match or post-match or something. That's it. I don't hear him say anything, ever. Dan, look at Antonio, who everyone is beating for being there. He's risking a lot of sacrificing a lot, could get seriously injured. Why would we dump him if he's playing for Mason when we qualify? Okay. So, all right. Yeah, and I think, look, those are the one. All right, that's a situation like it just depends on what kind of lens you want to look through when you're picking a team. So if I'm saying, look, I'm gonna be 100% emotional in my selection, meaning I'm going to really base it off of, how many windows have we had for this World Cup qualifying campaign? Let's pick all the players who have had the most appearances in this time frame. If that's the case, then do that, right? But I think it needs to be weighted more 50-50 on how are the people playing now, what physical shape are they in now, and you also can factor in, okay, because that goes in with team chemistry and camaraderie and everything like that. But it can't be heavily weighted so far that you disregard that the man might not be where you need him to be to produce for you. Because at the end of the day, I don't care what kind of like just your presence. I don't care what your presence brings. At some point, that presence need to translate into something on the pitch. You know, I don't know. That's just how I feel on it. But yeah, it's tough. But at the end of the day, football is a business, and business is what cutthroat. So it's not personal to any of the players if they get dropped or they don't get picked and blah blah blah. Or it shouldn't be. That's not how it should feel. It might feel personal, which is, that's just what it is. But it's football at the end of the day, and it's a business. And sometimes you have to make those decisions that might not be the nicest, but a lot like in life, nice guys finish last. In football, is the same. You have to have that cutthroat mentality if you want to win. No donkeys giving away today. None. If you allow him to skip qualifying, know what happens next campaign when it's more difficult. Yeah, well, the hope is Rob Smith that once he plays, it won't be a situation like, or whoever, not just Mason, but whoever, whatever player. Once they're in the system and playing, the hope is that they'd make themselves available anytime the coach would want them moving forward. So true, Jason. Not sure exactly what, but I agree with you. Whatever. What does Mason's club and management team feel about him playing for Jamaica and how it will affect? That is what I need to do more investigation about. Little old me takes time sometimes to get there, but you'd be surprised, man. People reach out to you that you wouldn't think you could get to. So I'll never say never. You wouldn't accept if Eze said he only playing Champions League game. Hell no. Jason, do you know if Greenwood makes a switch or he only has the passport? I don't know definitively, but I want to think that he has made the switch. Yes. Given everything the player has experienced, it's understandable that he would want to take time before reaching a decision to commit fully. Well, Lee, that is your opinion on the matter, and I hope they don't beat you for it, because we're not gonna beat a man for the opposite opinion either. Jamaica only pushing Mason Greenwood away from playing only if the fans knows the full story. I have to say, don't trust the coach and the JFF statement. What went wrong? Yeah, Tycoon, this is probably where I'm at with it, to be honest, because as I said, I mean, it would be foolish of me to just take whatever is said at face value. I mean, even if it's intentional or unintentional in terms of the message not being not being the full truth of the situation, either way, without some more, investigation into the situation, I just refuse to be like have this definitive burnout thing, or I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. Antonio needs to be a pundit. Come on, taking up space that someone with a club could get 100% shouldn't have been chosen, says I had one. So feel very strongly about that. All right, so yeah, let's keep it moving now, people, because the comment section are run and it's a nice convo we're having, but let's kind of structure it a little bit now. So first now, people, Chop and Change FC. Remember, people, smash the like button. About almost 100 of you in the building right now. We greatly appreciate the eyes on the content. Please do make it count by hitting the like button. We should be up to 100 likes, quick and fast, based on who is here and how many of you are here and passing through so far. So, people, we have on the screen the squad. Now, this is the original squad that came out 5 days ago now, right? And I think this was on Friday. And yeah, this is the first installment without revision, right? So we have Shaquan Davis, Jamal Away, Tafari Chambers were the goalkeepers. And I'm going to say were because this is definitely a past tense squad at this point. Dexter Lembikisa, Kyle Duncan, New York Red Bulls, his first call up. Damian Lowe, Richard King, Ethan Pinnock, Mason Holgate, Amari Bell, Greg Lee. Then we have in midfield Isaac Hayden, Ian Frey, John Russell, Casey Palmer, Karai Anderson, Jashan Anglin, and Kevin Lambert. Forwards, Kaim Dixon, Damari Gray, Ronaldo Cephas, Tyrese Campbell, Warner Brown, Bailey Kadamartieri, Michael Antonio, Shamar Nicholson. So people probably wondering, or maybe not, because you guys have been keeping up. You guys are avid football fans like myself, especially the Jamaican fans, right? We know that this squad that you're seeing on the screen right now that I just read out is not what we're going to face Bermuda or Trinidad with, frankly, in this upcoming couple of matches. So this was, we'll call it 1.0. Now, that was 5 days ago on Friday, people. Okay. So what have we seen since then? So we see Casey Palmer. They've shared Hull City's post. They've shared the New York Red Bulls post. Nice touch by them. You know, the little video shot with the flag. We like that. Countdown for the home game. Little stats about Damari Gray. Happy birthday to Sydney Snyder. Big up yourself, Sydney. Happy birthday to you. Then 2 days ago, they reshared a CONCACAF video. Warner Brown scoring against Guatemala from Gray's corner. Then they have a little information about Jamali Waite. 6 clean sheets. That's nice. Info on Dexter making a move. Great goals. Let's see. This was his goal against SVG. Warner Brown. Then we have Ronaldo Webster called up. So what day this was, people? This was 23 hours ago, which is Tuesday. Now, why am I showing all of this and showing you when these news came out? Tuesday, Jamoi Topi. So Jamoi Topi is into the squad. We learned that yesterday from the JFF, right? So the official channel that you would want to find out about things about the team, right? Same time, Ronaldo Webster called up. So we see 2 players added. No news of the players that they're replacing, just 2 players added. So, you know, when you look at the original posting, right, and you say, okay, this is a 26-man roster, unless I counted wrong, 11, 17, no, 18, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 18, and then another 8. Yeah, so 26-man roster. And revision 1.2, if I'm working off of the channel that I should work off of, right? Everybody agrees. If you want information about the national team, you go to their social media pages or their website, right? So JFF, Instagram, Twitter, or X, right? You know, or the JFF website itself, which I wouldn't really check there much because they don't really update that as much. So yeah, the social media is really where you get your new news. And also, we have other channels as well. You know, they do have a football federation group, media group, where they try to give the updates inside there. And all I have seen in the group is, you know, our squad was released in there. Then Bermuda's squad, Bermuda's final squad, and Trinidad's provisional list, right? And then yesterday we started to get news about the whereabouts of the camp and what's going on. Reggae Boys arrived into camp on Monday, trained this morning. And then, you know, an hour after that, we got the news that Topi and Ronaldo Webster have been added to the Reggae Boys squad for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers against Bermuda and Trinidad. We talked about some info on them. Webster made his debut for Jamaica in 2022 in a 1-1 draw versus Qatar. Topi has 9 caps for Jamaica. His last appearance was in November 2023 versus Guatemala, right? And then we have the interviews with Bailey Cadamartieri and Kyle Duncan posted as well. Some more background information on Bermuda. That was yesterday. Then today we get another update. The Reggae Boys trained this morning at Sabina Park in preparation for the upcoming World Cup qualifiers against Bermuda and Trinidad and Tobago. The delegation will depart the island this evening for Bermuda. The flight is about 3 hours and 20 minutes. Bermuda is 2 hours ahead. Kemar Foster has been added to the Reggae Boys squad. Foster has 4 appearances for Jamaica. So that's the latest update as of about 12 minutes ago from the media page. So in all the correspondence since these players have been added, and now Kamar Foster added as well, so 3 additions, which would take the number to 29 based on my math. And I am only basing this off of the communication that I have received from the official channels of the Jamaica Football Federation and the Reggae Boys team. Right? So if you're basing it off of that, we have 29 players in the squad now. You're thinking, wow, Jamaica taking this thing serious, man. Taking 29 players over to Bermuda to pick a 23. So we can have some good training drills because we have the numbers there and everything. If you ask any coach, that's a nice training number. You want to have 2 teams plus some more, to kind of get through your different stations and stuff in training. So, yeah, we're taking this thing serious, right, guys? Well, not so fast, people. I've always mentioned about the JFF when I talk about them. The communication. And it's why I think as fans of Jamaica's national team, if we want to keep our sanity, we have to embrace change. Right? So, nothing from the JFF side as far as who these players are replacing. But have no fear. My brethren BAM Sports is here. Because look at these people. Remember, it's yesterday we get correspondence about these players. So BAM Sports, 2 days ago, a full day before we've heard anything from the JFF, this was BAM Sports post. Mount Pleasant Football Academy defender Jamal Tope has been added to the Reggae Boys squad for the upcoming FIFA International window as a replacement for Brentford centre-back Ethan Pinnock. Tope has 8 caps for Jamaica, so he goes on to talk about some background on Tope. And BAM Sports is where I would have gotten any news or any inclination that Ethan Pinnock is not here, right? So thank you, BAM Sports. That was a full day before I've heard anything from the JFF. So I've learned of the player making a replacement to another player. Almost identical time. Ronaldo Webb says the other player that is replacing a player. And on here, it says Charlton Athletic defender Amari Bell being replaced. So we have gotten some information from a source outside of the official capacity of the JFF or the Jamaica Football Federation a full day prior to when we hear about it from the federation itself. And not only that, but we get more information inside that press release from the person outside the JFF than the people inside. So if it is a case where we are not saying who they're replacing to keep our opponents off track, fine. But how is it then that someone not inside the federation would be able to put out that information a day before? Because I can assure you that how much BAM Sports has embedded himself in the information as far as Jamaican football is concerned. If the people playing against us have any sense, they will be tuned into BAM Sports because they know that he's reliable with the information and he tends to get it out faster than most places. So again, we just had a conversation about a player and we're trying to figure out how the heck this man had come into play. And we had someone in the comment section ask how many of these situations actually occur because of the way that we are handling the football. And people say when you say that you're just finding excuses for players. But at the end of the day, whenever I say something, the way you choose to receive it is on you. You can't eliminate the parts that I'm actually saying. Two things can be true at the same time. A player can be not being the most upfront with us in terms of how they feel about playing for us. And the JFF can also, in their lack of coherent communication, just some of the haphazard ways that they go about doing things. You know, I can only imagine when a player is being recruited, let's call it, how many different voices they might hear, you know, how different the tones of whoever they're talking to might be. And you guys think that, oh, you know, why them have to be so soft? And, you know, if they would understand, them would know, say, I just saw it go. And to me, that's just not a realistic way to be thinking about things, because at the end of the day, as big, like we always, and I agree, Jamaica is a big brand. But the thing is, we have to realize that some of these players are also big brands. And, you know, you want to protect your brand at all costs. And sometimes I don't think that the way we operate instills much confidence in people with a brand. They might feel like their brand might not look as good if they're associated with certain things. And that's just a fact. That's just a fact. It's just like in life. You might, well, no, let me not even go there. But what I just said, that is a fact. You can't refute that. All right, so bam now, 22 hours ago. So this is still yesterday, people. We haven't heard about this one anywhere officially as yet. As a matter of fact, we heard about Kemar Foster first. So this one wasn't as definitive, but it says seems set to miss Jamaica's first World Cup qualifying window. Birmingham City made a post about all their players going away for duty. Gray was not listed among them. They even went as far as to list their U21 players as well going on duty. He wasn't listed anywhere in there. Mikel Antonio also reported in this post, not at camp. And Nicholson did get there, but after training. So Nicholson is there. So we learn a couple more now. So we're up to Amari Bell, Ethan Pinnock, Damari Gray, and Mikel Antonio. So what I thought was 29 now looks more like 25. Right? Two of those players were replaced. So that should put the count at 27. If my maths make sense. So now that we know that, how about, and here's the post about Foster. And congrats to Damian Lowe as well. Want to big him up, made a move to the MLS. I think a lot of people were happy about that. Did not want to see him go into the Iraq Stars League. But yeah, that did actually prove to be, I don't know what happened with that deal. Club reported it, Transfer Market reported it, BAM Sports himself reported it. A lot of places were reporting it, even the club posted it. But yeah, it's the player had said at the time that it's not true, it's fake news. And it turns out that he was indeed correct, because he will be headed to Houston Dynamo at the end of this international window. So big ups to Damian Lowe, back in the MLS again. You know, he spent time with Philadelphia Union, spent time obviously at Inter Miami, but now he's back in the league with Houston Dynamo. All right, so Foster came in to replace Davis, which we heard Travis say earlier. So Topi, Webster replacing Pinnock, Bell. So 3 players in, 3 players out, plus no Damari Gray, no word of any replacement yet for him, and no Mikel Antonio as well. There's another player as well that I haven't really seen, because I was doing my own little investigation work trying to see something, and they didn't put out any training pictures from today, it looks like, but this is yesterday's training. So we see Bailey Cadamarteri, we see Dixon, that's Kyle Duncan, Karai Anderson, Damian Lowe, Kevin Lambert, not sure who that player is back there. Cephas, Kadamar, Terry Dixon again. That's Richard King, Jamali Waite, Mason Holgate, Dexter, Karai. So I'm saying, okay, I don't see certain players. I have not seen John Russell in any of the actual clips or footage. So I don't know what to make of that. Some more training pictures. I think that's sure who those two players are. That might be Anglin and Anderson, I think. Richard King, D'Lo, Dixon, Issac Hayden, Cephas, Greg Lee, Bailey, Duncan, and there's Holgate. So yeah, I didn't see any John Russell. I didn't see any Casey Palmer. Now people are telling me that they're there, but I didn't see either of them in any other clips. So I was making me wonder a little bit. I don't know if anybody can corroborate that. All right, so let me go back to the comment section now, because we just went through quite a bit in terms of the movements and the movement parts in the team. So let me get this back on the screen. And we know that some of these players are gone and we know the replacements, but we'll just leave that there as a refresher. But let me go through some comments now. Respect Jordan. What he said, don't count out Antonio. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to count him out either, but I mean, I wouldn't be lying to you if I had the utmost faith in what he can do right now. You know what I'm saying? He just doesn't look physically up to it, you know. But hey, prove me wrong, Mikhail. Prove me wrong. Come on, people, hit the like button. Yeah, man, tell them, man. Them not do the right thing, man. I don't know them are going so. And big up again, Punroy, for the super sticker. Jamaica is under no pressure to play Bermuda and TNT. No time. Easy 6 points, says Travis. Well, Travis, you're valuable to the chat right now because I think a lot of people much gloomier than you. So balance in life is important. So we need your voice amongst all the other ones that think this ain't no damn soup. Bless up, Chorus. Hope you're good, my bro. Ronaldo Webster, well deserved. Yeah, he's put in a lot of work over there in North Macedonia, getting his club over to Europe. They were one step away from being in the Champions League draw proper. Couldn't get past Karabakh in the end, but still a good run for them. You know, winning, I think, 3 qualification rounds before the last one. Spartak Moscow bought Levi Garcia for 18 and sold Shamar for 1.6. Rough. Antonio playing in the U21 when Dixon used a lower level U21, he was in the team. Let it make sense. Yeah. I mean, Conrad, you see, I can be honest because I was one of the ones saying Dixon should not be in the team then. You know, so I can't now turn around and say Antonio playing U21. Yeah, it's a higher level than what Dixon was playing, but at the end of the day, nah. Glad for my Westmoreland native baller. Grab your chance, my bro. Yeah, man. I know he's from out there and was stolen to Kingston, you know. Where did he go? Where he went to Stets? Where he went to school out there? Or he went to Mannings? Or neither? Where did he go to school? Like the Costa Cup and them thing there. I know him, they go town and play Manning Cup one time, I think. I heard. And then he end up staying in town and play for Cavalier and stuff. Only grade there is no replacement for. Okay. So them never bother replace him. Come one was 20 and one is 35. Yeah, that's a big age difference there. Pinnock out, Topi in. Bell out, Webster in, Davis out, Foster in. All injuries. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen them put anybody else. U21 is Premier League 2. So that is the highest U21 league in England, the PL2. And then you have like, you know, equivalent to championship at U21, which is kind of what Dixon was playing last year. It's called the Professional Development League, and they have a North and South division. And then the North and South top 2 teams playing a semi-final and final thing, and then you have a winner. Who was called to replace Gray? Not a soul, to my knowledge. Levi Garcia is not a bug. Travis, stop it, man. Sure. Anglin is in there, yes. I saw him in the training videos. Who is going to be our attacking midfielder? Well, Casey Palmer would be the most likely. Yeah, Casey Palmer would be the most likely. And I mean, Karai Anderson plays more of attacking midfield for his club, but every time he come to Jamaica, he play deeper. So maybe they try him there. I seen Kaim Dixon playing number 10 for Crawley Town. I don't know if McLaren would want to try that for Jamaica. Not sure. So yeah, I mean, those are I would think those are the main options. Palmer and Anderson. I mean, I know Russell can play higher up as well, but he might want to keep him more in the box-to-box type of role he was playing before. So I mean, those would be the main ones I would think, though, between Palmer, Anderson, Russell, and to a lesser extent Dixon. I think I'm going to want Dixon on the wing, but I guess he could play there. Well, I've seen him play there at Crawley. He didn't look terrible in the center mid in the number 10. Yeah, Kamara Foster is replacing Davis, but I don't see no replacement for Gray. And remember, you know, the JFF, right, which is if Simon was here in the chat right now, he would probably tell you that is who you should be. Whether you agree with him or not is up to you. But he would be telling us that any information regarding the status of the squad should come from their IG page or their Twitter or the media group, you know, and they have not put out anywhere that Gray is out. Remember, we only saw that on BAM Sports, and I am working with BAM Sports because I think that BAM Sports would not put that out unless he had it. You know what I'm saying? And again, therein lies the problem. We can't hold water as a federation. If the goal was really to keep your opponents off the scent of whatever is going on, we would never be able to do that because BAM Sports are going to know by yesterday what happened today. So what's the point? Just put it out and done. Garcia might be worth more than this current Jamaica C team by himself. Boy, and you know, I never look at the transfer market, you know, but it might be actually close because I think Trinidad is at like 15 point something million because of Garcia. And we don't have the players that usually boost up our value in this current squad. Kid is fully grown man and he's not even dominating the kids. Bless family, me late again. Nah, man, you're good low. Just about halfway through the show, so you have only a show left. Simon busy, I tell McLaren to put Shamar in the starting lineup. Yeah, man, what was the line? I was going to play the damn press conference today, you know, but it doesn't even make sense. Man say, Simon, what you been telling me? Man say, 19 games, 11 goals against Caribbean opposition. That's Shamar Nicholson. Man say, yeah, there it is. That's the line. Like Simon, I tell him every morning, noon, and night, you know. I'm saying that at a high level and don't count out people like him. He always bet on himself and when those players are dangerous. Yeah, look, as I say, prove us wrong, you know. JFF move with Masonic secrecy. Not really. Them tell who they want to tell so that it get out there. But I just don't understand, like, if you know people are tell, why not just put it out then? You know it's going to get out there before you put it out, which make it look bad. You should always want to put out the news about your team first. Why put it out there to test out people with the news and then put it out? That don't look good. It's a good look for Jamaica. Change up the team. All right, Logan. Another positive comment amongst most of the negativity. So you say it's a good look because the team change up. Well, look, Logan, that actually makes sense because how much of us actually liked the team before? I remember doing a show with my father after the Gold Cup, and the man said, yo, none of them are good, not one of them. So I asked him, I said, who the hell going to play? He said, boy, I don't know, but not them, man. But if you really check it out still, it's a lot of the same damn people. So I think that they're going to be so happy. I'm also curious as to them or Pinnock reason for dropping out. Is it injuries or their club saying no? If it's for any other personal reason, they should not be included in the October window. Well, Damari Gray looked like he did his shoulder in his last game I saw him play. He came off, got treatment, looked like they was going to sub him off, but he went on to finish the game. Maybe that was the worst decision for his September window. If he may just sit down on the side of the field when him go down, maybe it wouldn't have gotten worse. But that's that. Pinnock played the 60 minutes in the EFL Cup, and then I think him was he on the bench? Was he even on the bench at the weekend? I think he might have been on the bench. Hold on, let me check. Thinking that game against Sunderland. Yeah, so he was on the bench in the Sunderland game. Just never get no game. So he has 60 minutes in his legs total. Which he would have played about a week ago now. I think it was last week during the week. So yeah, I don't think he's fully ready to play. I don't think he was fully ready to play even at the Gold Cup, to be honest. He did not look like he was ready to play football yet. And maybe he's looked at it and said, listen, I tried to kind of pull through something in the Gold Cup. And I think it's the worst I've ever seen him play for Jamaica in those games. So, might as well, if he can't pull his weight like the normal Pinnock could or would or normally does, does he hurt the team more? Because when he comes, McLaren ain't gonna look at him and sit him on the bench. So if he's not up for it, the 180 minutes, I'm sure McLaren would want him to play. Then don't bother come waste the spot then, I guess. But no, I would not be blooding any players like Damari or Pinnock right now for nothing. Yeah, Damari definitely has a knock. It ain't no club, nothing. September 9th is Jamaica versus Trinidad in Jamaica, but September 5th, we play Bermuda in Bermuda, Eras. Antonio can stay in yard. Yo. Big up. BM in the building. Omar also think his brand was big too, so he bet on himself and $37.5 million richer now. Well, Conrad, me know what you mean. The club is $37.5 million richer. I think he's going to get a little more than that actually over the course of his contract. But yeah, he's richer now, for sure. And I go find work every time. Too low is far better. Something happened in Saudi because he actually had a good season, but I noticed he missed the last 2 games of their season. Okay. Antonio already because City U21 handled him wicked. Yeah, it wasn't the best display that game for real. I saw what Greenwood was up to a long time ago. Whether we like it or not, he was never interested in playing for Jamaica. He's just using us to force the hands of the English FA. All right, BM. Disagree with that take, but that's your take, brother. I haven't seen Ian Frey and he never posted anything. Yeah, haven't seen him either. I can confirm Russell in Jamaica and training. That's wonderful news, Odelo, because I couldn't confirm it up to 5 minutes ago. 63 likes, yo, people. I can't go on so. I can't go on so, people. 63, bro. Come on, do better than that, people, man. 63 likes is not enough likes. Amount of people pass through from the show start. All right, tell me just way back in the comments. I don't know. So wait a second here. Just a second here. Muffin, tap your nice. All right, 78 likes. That's a little better. Come on, get me to the 100 quick and fast, man. Bless up Vinsky, what go on? Hope all is well with you, you know. Yeah, man, big up yourself. Hope you and the family is wonderful, bro. Long time linky. Saw Russell on the JFF story video. All right, nice. Tyrese Campbell there. That's another one I never saw, you know. 100% with the squad. All right, good to know. Also noticed the only time he posted anything with Jamaica was when he was featured in Jamaican jersey 2 years ago. At the time, he was out of football for almost 2 years and his career was uncertain. Okay. Yeah, he missed the whole reasoning, but him still might have feel the same way. But that's okay. If Frey is not there, then they might have to bring in another replacement. Yeah, I haven't seen Frey either. I'm not trying to tell people how to think. I'm just saying be critical thinkers. All right, fair enough. Bless up, Cranky. Hope all is well. Yeah, man, hope all is well. Hopefully your blood pressure don't go too high this week, you know. All my YouTubers that are a little bit more experienced than I am, I worry about their physical health, you know, during these times. One Russell and any 10. Antonio unfit. T Stewart should replace him. Mario Logan. I have made multiple videos about Trevante Stewart making the damn team. So I don't know why the man can't make it. These 2 games will be interesting. At least we have Hayden in the middle of the park, so the team should look better. Also, for the newcomers, I hope they are hungry and ready to bring it. If we remove this stupid UK-born, Jamaican-born conversation, I think people would universally agree Mason not being here is an issue. Okay. So if we just never care about where he's from and just know, say, he's available and say I'm not playing, that's the issue. Well, I think Rob Smith, the main thing, you know, the player, why is it that we believe the player wants to play? Just answer that one question. Like, why is it we believe the player wants to play? We don't know. We have been told he has everything he needs to play, and he just is not ready to commit. Fine. And you have chosen to hear that and say, him just don't want to commit, so F off with him. Fine. Me personally, I don't know that the player ever wanted to play in the first place. Like, I don't know that. He's never come out and said, listen, Jamaica, I'm coming to help you. Like, he's never said these things. Yeah, cool, Joe. How come as soon as he started playing for Getafe, he never posted anything regarding Jamaica again? He has never said he wanted to play for Jamaica. Don't you all find that weird? No, I don't find it. You know what I find weird? That all of us are so upset he's not coming when he's never told us he's coming. That's what I find weird. Not weird, because I think, as I said, some people just going to hear the news about Passport, see all the videos about him playing, and people putting their expected lineups and him being in every damn lineup. Yeah, that's why you build up this, oh my gosh, the euphoria that goes with this new player. And people know he's good. That's the difference this time. Like, you know, people could argue with other players, oh, where you find a brother you're from, blah, blah, blah. Well, this dude played for Man U, and Man U is one of the most beloved teams in Jamaica. So people know him and they know his quality. So that's why it bond them so much. And that's why the beating is so great, you know, because they're like, damn, this dude would actually help. Get over it. McLaren narrate T Stewart, Antonio want in the team. Yeah, that Mr. Travis. Me, I get over it, man. I can't do nothing about it. But we can still talk. Okay, why we can't talk? He played for Stets, yeah. I knew it was one of them West team there. Stets, Manning's one of them. Man, them lost now, man, Campbell number. That's another one. Fans like me and you can't stop McLaren pick who he wants in the team. Well, Travis, me and you always argue, but that is so true. We can't stop what the hell the man pick. We can only give him advice. Russell does not play box to box for us. He plays back post. Yeah, that's true still, though. But the really, the other side, him just arrive. Yeah. That's why I'm tempted to even play him higher, you know. I feel like even Palmer work more, you know. And people say him lazy, you know. I feel like Palmer put in more tackle than even Russell. Bermuda is a low block team. Jamaica going to need a creative midfielder. Yeah. Well, Bam didn't say if Gray was out for both games. Maybe no, he said for the September window. You know. He never just say one game. Jamaican fans running scared. I thought we run the Caribbean. Bermuda will play Jamaica like SVG did when they drew. Yeah, I think Ronnie, I think you're so right on this. If I'm Bermuda, you know, I am analyzing what did SVG do in their home fixture and also what did BVI do in their home fixture, because in both of those games, Jamaica, you know, you couldn't leave that game saying, yo, Jamaica is the clear better team, you know, which is what the rankings would have suggested and what the odds before the game and everything would have suggested. So what did they do to make the game look so even? You know, that's what they'll be looking at if I'm Bermuda. Take Leon out and our value, thanks. Yeah, exactly. Levi Garcia was bought for 18 million. He was Boza's replacement. Yeah, somebody said that earlier too. You don't look good and you guys can talk about what you don't know. Yeah, exactly. We should just not try to talk about it at the end of the day. You have to take Pinnock, Bell, and Gray out. Yeah, exactly. I see the games those kids was playing him hard. All the players we pick out, so now only players that can come in are JPL players. Well, they did bring in Ronaldo Webster, a former JPL player, and the other two are JPL players, but bro, yeah, interestingly, you know, on this topic of like having replacement players ready, I just listened to Dwight York press conference before the Curacao game coming up. And he was saying, you know, people were asking what's the thinking behind naming such a big provisional and da da da. And he said the main reason for doing it is just to get the correspondence out to enough players so that when players have that last weekend of games and injuries happen, they're not scrambling for what players they're gonna go for. And I was just making this point to some people about when we name this 26-man squad, do we have like a 32 to 35 that we've actually contacted and spoken to? So that when that last weekend of fixtures happens, because it happened, the squad's revealed on Friday. Players play games that Friday, that Saturday, that Sunday. Of course, we had a few players drop out since that Friday reveal. So York had a contingency plan, put it into work, because he said he had a few players that did pick up niggles on the last day and couldn't come. But he already had notified more than the actual 26 he was planning to call. So when those two dropped out, he just took two from that 35 and it was seamless. Everybody still traveled. So why are we not doing that? I don't know. They'll tell you that we're doing it, but it doesn't seem that way. Unless maybe the players who they have as alternates are already the ones who clearly the ones that they had in mind are the ones they have replaced them with. Because somebody would have had to talk to Webster before. You know, 6 points for Jamaica, but it's not going to be that easy. Goalkeeper Davis injured and being replaced. Sad loss for Jamaica. Well, I wouldn't say so still. Kemar Foster is added to the team. I'm not sure who he replaces. Kemar Foster replaces Shaquan Davis. So they basically one Mount Pleasant keeper out and one Mount Pleasant keeper in. But at least now we have the two first and second string Mount Pleasant keepers now. Lou has not played since the Gold Cup. Yep. Holgate has not played much either. Yeah, I think he made one appearance off the bench, or maybe two. I tell you, say he was injured. Foster better than Davis, more experience. I agree. I'll be in Nassau September 9th. I hope they play match over there. No match in Bahamas, sadly. We have in Kingston on the 9th and in Bermuda on the 5th. Yeah, Russell and Casey was captured in one of the training videos. Okay, wonderful. Curacao is a more technical team for Trinidad, so let us see how Trinidad will play Curacao. Yeah, people, I advise all of you, because you should get as much info. I know Travis will not do this and some others, but you should listen to what the coach them say from the other team. Dwight York had a long, it was about 28 minutes. I didn't have much time, so I put it on 1.5 speed, and I made my little notes, and trust me, Dwight York, you can see the man think about all kind of things in him when him getting prepared. The way the man answer the questions, like you can see this thing has consumed him for 2 months trying to get this team ready. That's at least what comes across when he's talking, which is sound refreshing coming from the coach. Pinnock, one of those players who shows up when it suits him. He comes up missing for too many big games tournament for my liking. He also missed the start of the final push towards World Cup 2022. Joker. All right, so Tony Prush has made their assessment of Pinnock. Man, he has gotten this brush painted on him a lot by his funny name, Tony Brush. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I will always hold true that if a player comes at any point, me not gonna question them. None at all. Because that 9-hour flight for come forward and play and take a next 9-hour flight back with flights in between when you have to travel to a country while you're in Jamaica. It's a lot of traveling to go put on yourself before you go back and play your league over. So if they're going through that at any point, me can't say them show up whenever it feel like, and all them. Me not gonna say that, brother. With comments like that, BM, no wonder that the baller is staying far from the madness of the fans. Yeah, me supporter them will say that them too soft if fans can make them don't play, but boy, some of them man, one of the man got so far up in a mama, I don't wrong him. Excuse my language there to anybody that don't understand patois. 23 players can change for those who do understand. I'm not sorry, because I hear that all the time. 23 players can change for a World Cup qualifying game. McLaren just pick 3 players added to make 26. Yeah, I know that, Travis, but the point I'm making is, okay, so if you had said that, why for the same World Cup qualifier, the same rules as Jamaica, but just hear a coach from Trinidad say he had the 35 squad selected for the sole purpose that if up to 13 man injured, or 10 man injured, or 12 man injured, and the last weekend, him have a pool of players that know they're possibly going to get called already. And I don't think that's what that watch list was for, because it was not a preliminary roster. That's what Trinidad called it. Ours was just called a watch list. And if you notice, the people them called into it now after people drop out ain't even from the watch list. So that was I don't even know what that was for. Bless up J. Ross. Hope all is well, bro. You don't play for Jamaica when you feel like to play. G's and P's. Next window should be the cutoff for new players, says Energy. You're making too much sense. You're probably not ready. Maybe. With all due respect, Jamaicans show him a lot more love than anywhere else in the world right now. But you get the passport then. Not sure what that was referring to, Andre. The main reasons are the fans and what they are saying in the new space. Okay. So Porter said, is the fans to be blamed mostly? Wow. This ballers when them come, this ballers when them not come. They say either way, I just this. That's interesting. If people said he doesn't want to play for Jamaica, you would get a beating. That's interesting. If people said he doesn't want to play for Jamaica, you would get a beating. I'm not sure. Just realize this space full of emotional man children. My next scare is, will this coach utilize these players the best way and select a sensible squad for who we have? Why? That is the $1 million question now, or the $500,000 question, or whatever his salary is. Other players said Mason video calls when Bernard is there and told him he's coming. Okay. Wow. Well, I know that him and Bernard is good mates. Maybe Bernard fitness will help if he's back in the team to kind of integrate him. That's another theory. Nancy, well, I don't know how well that would fly with the fans though. They're like, so what? If you can't hold this on hand, you can't forward. Nonsense about the fans. Jamaicans is showing this guy way more love than anyone else. Websites from Westmoreland. He played for Petersfield. I know he went to Wolmer's in the end, yeah. Reno and Cavalier. Okay, so he played for Reno too. That's nice. So your club. This is why we need a cutoff date to join if we qualify. So if any player wants to play who didn't play, they can come play after next World Cup. It's that simple. BBK Sports in the building. Yo, I miss your morning rant, but I'm gonna watch it later. Big up yourself, BBK. I've been so damn busy, bro. I need to get back into the lab and drop some content, I don't know if you want to do like a transfer window thing for the season. Maybe give some side some marks and them thing. I don't know. Let me know, bro. We should do some content though, cause it's been too long, People go and subscribe to BBK Sports if you're into Arsenal at all, and also EPL in general. Yeah, man, really good content, good knowledgeable community over there. And I recommend, if you like the football discussions, that's another place you can have some top quality discussion. Yeah, man. Puss and Dog don't have the same look. Facts. Are letting the people them know. Coach going to have less stress. Coach going to have less stress in his window, best believe. Okay, so some of the stress, the people that might bring the stress not there. Some of those stress people. I think I know what you mean, Logan. But if you want to spell it out clearer, you can. English fans beat Mason worse than Jamaica fans. That might be true, or about equal at this point. Be fair, we don't have another CB. It's just Topi. I don't know if that's totally true. I mean, I guess if you're thinking local CB right there in Jamaica, then maybe yes, because he's at least playing the extra games with the Caribbean Cup. But since he's played the Caribbean Cup, he don't play the league games. So he play basically the same amount as everybody else, 2 games. Coming off injury as well, long term. Been around, but hasn't really been to the full heights. I know Cummins would probably be the next choice based on who's been around the squad. He's out injured. Kyle Ming has been playing centre back, but is used more as a right back so far when McLaren has used him. So maybe that's why he didn't make the cut. So yeah, it was just surprising that they went for Topi. That's all. And again, I've only called JPL players just now. I haven't even mentioned, John Bell, who is in the MLS playing centre back predominantly for the most part now. I didn't mention my boy, the name, man. He's in League One now, man. Oh gosh. Oh, Curtis Tilt, didn't mention him. But some would say, at what? I think he's about 33 now. Curtis Tilt, maybe even 34. Maybe they would say, boy, if I hadn't gone back for him in the last couple of years prior to this, is now the best time to go back for him. That's an argument that I could understand. But I don't think Topi is the only one. I think that's a bit of a stretch, Rob. We need a cut-off point. I think we showed way too much and overdid the thing. And now we're disappointed and acting like spurned biatches. 6 points for Jamaica. I want to stop stressing yourself. These set of players glad for the call up. Okay, so Logan said because the man them want to be there, the 6 points will just drop into our hand. Both Mount Pleasant keepers are overweight. Do they take the sport seriously? Question mark. Oh, on the TV. I got you. Yeah. You say you're gonna be in NASA. I don't know if you have like Paramount, but I think Paramount is doing the games. The last round it was just on CONCACAF YouTube, but I don't know if that's gonna be the case this time. I need to actually check that. Yeah, the last set of games, how I'm going to watch back the games, they were on YouTube for the World Cup qualifiers, but I don't know if that's changed for this window now. So matter of fact, is saying Fox Deportes for the first game, which is not a good sign because I ain't got that. So I have to go find a stream or something feed. And then the other game, them don't have no kind of TV listed yet. The game in Jamaica, so it's gonna be, we're gonna have to figure it out, people. All right. So next topic that I want to discuss, talk about the squad, the changes, everything. Had a long conversation regarding you know, Mason Greenwood and all these things. And people, let's not fight over it all. All right, Paramount Plus, there you go. Let's not fight about all of these things about Mason Greenwood. People gonna have, just like how them have different thoughts on the coach and who you should pick, the same thing about how you should respond to Mason Greenwood not being in the team right now. So Tilt is actually 34. I just checked. Well, yes, Curtis Tilt is not the answer, eh? The mere fact we struggle to find other names for the CB and keepers. Yeah, well, look, man. When we said that that squad, there's areas where we are strong. Immediately, all them damn players got injured. Deshaun Bernard is out, Latibeaudiere is out, Pinnock is out. Who else? Well, John Bell is overlooked. And maybe the coach sees him as a left back, not a centre back. Tavon Gray is overlooked. Played centre back this season. Really is a right back in the coach's eyes, maybe, I guess. So, Tilt is clutching at straws. I mean, look, he's playing in League One, starting every game for the team in fourth place in League One. So you can call it clutching at straws. I can call it the man is still playing a higher level than Topi. I mean, that's the bottom line. And Topi has been overseas, so it's not like he's played overseas before, not in England, but he's played overseas before. But yeah, I mean, Curtis Tilt is not a household name. He's not one that people that follow Jamaica really talk about ever. But let's not act like he's not out there and is eligible to play and is playing a level above a player that we call in. I mean, that's just the facts. That's just the facts. That's just the facts. You know what I mean? Muffin Bill, no man. Tilt will never play for Jamaica again, says BAM Sports. Well, there's a lot of players I'm hearing that sentiment with, and I'm okay with it as long as they're not playing football again for Jamaica because of football. Because too often, when I ask about the reason why, I've never received an answer that has anything to do with football itself. At the end of the day, we are playing football, are we not? So yeah, that's what I'm saying. And for that, and I think this sentiment right here, and people hearing his name and just him being thought of as an outcast, is why Ballpree can say this. Somebody that I know looks upon players, him still for Tilt, even though I'm playing in League One, a league that we have other players that we want to get picked playing in, and him start every game for him team, but him is clutching at straws. That don't really make no sense, honestly. Watching football just enough CB that are better than Topi, period. If Arteta don't win the EPL this year, he have to go. I agree. Mark Jackson at the Warriors is a perfect example. I always thought if they gave Mark Jackson one more year, he would have been Steve Kerr, but that's another argument for another day. People think I'm mad with that take. Yeah, John Bell's team just won the League's Cup. Yep. He didn't play in the final, but he helped them to get there. Players are only overlooked because the coach doesn't know the players and is depending on Meron. There's the issue. Who Meron recommends is who is selected. Them say we shouldn't focus on any assistant, but the coach just told us how integral he was to him and how he wouldn't have survived without him when he first got here. So I don't know. Oh, give the names a lot. Names, please. Okay, I think that is for you, we max it, because you say enough names are better than Topi, period. So I think they want the people. But I just told them some. Curtis Tilt. Who else did I say? John Bell. Those are two off the top of my head I think would be better than Topi at centre back in this current window coming up. How many more you want? You want like 10? 3 more to the 100 people. Smash it. West Harding played only AFL Cup so far, but he's still playing. Yeah, we're scrambling. Similar Topi. Topi is a scramble pick. So if we want to pick somebody else, we have to scramble too. Like, I don't understand. It's okay to just throw Topi in there, but when a man says West Harding and Tilt, we're scrambling. What's the difference? And again, of those 3 players, which player playing at the highest level of the 3? Or better yet, which player playing at the lowest level of the 3? You know what I'm saying? So when we say West Harding and we say Tilt, and we have to go like this for think about it, for say it, we're scrambling. But when we wake up and see Topi in the team, nobody now say we're scrambling. We just say, yo, Topi had a whole heap of potential one time, you know. So, you know. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, Balpri. It's like no one, I didn't hear you come out and say, boy, Topi, what? You just say, oh, Topi replace so and so, and you keep it moving. So why when we are bring up the people and we could have played for Topi, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, that must have been a little bit of what I missed, you know? But I mean, we know why still. We know why that happened. We know why certain things elicit a different response, you know? Just has to do with like the affinity to the players and stuff. That's all it is. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about, people, is Issac Hayden being the key to it all. People saying, hey, Gray's out, we're doomed. Bailey out, we're doomed. You know, who's gonna step up as the striker? You know, a lot of people talking about a lot of things. No Andre Blake in goal. You know, all of these have been storylines. But for me, people, the one constant that I have been saying is as long as this dude can keep his fitness up for these 2 games, I really and truly feel like Jamaica has so much better chances of getting this situation handled to get to the World Cup. Right? So who am I talking about? Obviously, Issac Hayden. He's on the cover of the video today. And the main thing I wanted to talk about, people, is, you know, why I have the question mark and the exclamation. Now, I believe he's the key. And the reason why I believe he's the key, I think if you look at some of the games and his appearances that he's had for Jamaica, you kind of see a pattern when he plays based on when he doesn't play. And one of the main things that I see when he plays is that we have a much clearer idea of how to get the ball from the defense to the midfield to the forward line. And I think a part of that is just him understanding positioning, understanding when to drop and be a part of the backline in the build-up, and when to stay at his midfield level to connect play in the build-up. He does that better than any other midfielder I've seen us play there. And I think it helps us tremendously to just look more composed when we're playing out, even if we're being pressed. Right? Because I saw him do these things against the USA. Obviously, it's not like for this extended period of time because Jamaica just don't retain the ball well enough. But in patches and in certain plays, you can pick out times when you can pinpoint and say it was his thought process to take up this position on the pitch that allowed us to be able to progress the ball through this channel right here. And that's why I think like it's going to be so important for him to be playing in these games, right? For the Unity Cup, we did not get the stats there. So let me go somewhere else for those. I just want to get some evidence on screen. And it's just basically based on games that Issac Hayden would have played for us and games that he wasn't available for us. And if we can see a pattern in some of the like statistical data that can make sense of why his presence is so important, right? So if we look at Issac Hayden's matches, right? Let's see. Okay, so he would have played the 2 against St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Then he played against Nigeria and Trinidad as well. Okay. He's played for QPR. All right, so it doesn't have the Trinidad game for some reason. It has the Jamaica game versus Nigeria. This can't be right. What? Yo, people, tell me if this can be right. I'm looking at the Nigeria-Jamaica game, right? And it said that we had 72% possession. But, brother, I don't believe that. If that's the case, this even drive home the point even more. So they had the more shots on target, the more threatening, 10 corners, they were killing us for this part of the game, for a part of the game. But I thought Jamaica overall did a decent job of retaining the ball in this game. And even the play where Cephas was able to go down the line and cross it to Dixon, that play is only really made possible by it was a transition, but we had the ball a little bit getting pressed before Cephas got the ball. So having that base, having that what I would say now, confidence to actually even consider playing through pressure, I believe he's greatly impacts that and greatly impacts the thought process that we can do that. So in this game, of course, he was in the central area. And one thing that gives me a little bit of hope is that this three that I think function probably better than any midfield that we have seen under McLaren period is available for these games. And that's the one thing. If you were saying to me, Jason, it can't be all doom and gloom, bro. Like, give me something to make me feel like, all right, we have something we can hold on to. To me, that right there, that three right there in midfield, that to me is what's giving me hope. Because Issac Hayden, when he plays, John Russell plays better, and Casey Palmer for sure plays better. So that is what gives me hope. I've seen this midfield function against a better midfield that we're going to face in the Bermuda game and a better midfield that we're going to face in the Trinidad game. Indeed, Frank the Tank and Nathan Teller, come on. We ain't playing a midfield with that quality in this first window. So that gives me some hope, people. So if you're looking for Jason Gooner at this channel today and you're saying John Star, say, yeah, this can't be right. The position can't be right. But Mr. John Star, say, say I'm just fretting about everything about the team. Yes, I'm fretting about a lot. But one thing I'm not fretting about is the fact that we have a midfield that I think can function together. And I think this midfield actually maximizes what all of them do well. Because Hayden, positionally, is going to make up for John Russell and Palmer. I think they struggle in the defensive awareness area. I don't think that is that they're lazy, because I've seen Palmer play the deeper role and make 6-7 tackles in a game, and people still say him lazy. So I have always thought that sometimes some of our fans, once a narrative is out there about a player, regardless of what him do on the field, that's just what he is. Russell is too slow, was the cry forever. The man hasn't miraculously gotten faster, he's still slow, compared to, based on how you guys describe slow, he's still slow. But isn't Russell in everybody's team to start just about for this window? Because you see that maybe even though he's slow, he has skill sets that we can still use to make us better. And I think Hayden being there as an anchor, someone that just positionally understands that number 6 role, it frees up Casey Palmer and John Russell to play their games to the best of their ability. And that is why I think he is such a key. Not necessarily so much what he does personally on the field, but I think when you have a really good number 6, sometimes you can't pinpoint what it is he does. You just know that he helps the team to function. And that's the type of player Issac Hayden is. You can look at a lot of things that he does that can affect the game in a positive way. Sometimes you don't see them because they're subtle things, they're position things, they're the pass before the couple passes before the goal. So you don't see the importance of it as much. But if you truly break it down and you see how he's able to have that relationship with his back two, especially, that's going to hold us in such good stead in these 2 games. And the main thing that I worry about with Issac is just how much can he really physically give us at this point? If you look and you analyze his games that he's played, you know, he's only had one appearance so far this season for his club QPR. That came in the championship in their most recent fixture before the window. That was a 9-minute appearance off the bench. Now, his last game would have been all the way back in the Unity Cup for Jamaica. Sorry, at the World Cup qualifiers, that game against Guatemala. When he went down a couple of times in that second half, and people were already holding their breath for that Gold Cup. Now, we learned afterwards that pretty much it was kind of known. Well, I won't say known. A lot of people knew that he wouldn't be at the Gold Cup beforehand. There were some other things behind the scenes going on with him that he had to take care of. And, you know, he kind of always knew that he would not be taking part at the Gold Cup, you know, especially leading up to that Gold Cup, he kind of knew that. Now, the one thing that gives me some hope as far as his fitness is concerned in this window is that I know that he's an extremely professional guy, period. And if you listen to him in his interview when he got signed to QPR, he made mention of the importance of the 3 windows coming up with Jamaica and how much it meant to him and how important it was for him to find a club to be playing regularly to be able to give Jamaica his best. Now, the fact that he found the club so late after the window was open and wasn't able to kind of play this run of games with QPR gives me a bit of caution. But again, I'm going to lean on the fact that at this stage of his career, you know, at 30 years of age now, I think Issac has a very, very good understanding of his body. And I also think if he didn't think he could give the coach 180 minutes in this window, he probably would have turned up just for one of the games or not at all. So I am hopeful that he can get through the first game fully unscathed. And also another positive, because we have to try to find some, and I have one, and it's not being made up, and it's actually a valid positive. I asked a question leading into the Gold Cup at the press conference or the reveal for the squad, and I said it was obvious after the performances in the Unity Cup and the World Cup qualifiers that Issac Hayden is an integral part of everything you want to do regarding this team, especially in its midfield. And I said to the coach, if Issac Hayden is to pick up any kind of injury or need to be replaced due to fatigue during a game, what is your contingency plan? And at the time, I was flabbergasted by his response because he laughed. Well, he said the customary thing that he always says to everyone, regardless of the question. That's a great question, right? And then he said, well, we just got to keep him fit. So he didn't have a contingency plan. He just had a plan. And his plan was to just keep him fit. Well, just keeping him fit didn't quite work because we heard that he couldn't go to the Gold Cup due to some issues that he was having. We found out later that that might not have been the case as to why he didn't go to the Gold Cup. That's neither here nor there. The main thing is, if I was to ask him that question going into this window right here, what's the plan if Issac Hayden can't play? Do you have a contingency plan? And I must congratulate Mr. McLaren and his technical staff, because I actually think this time around, they have a contingency plan. And why do I say that, people? When you look at the squad, we actually have cover in defensive midfield. Kevin Lambert, who I have been asking for in every window, including the Gold Cup window and the World Cup qualifying window, is back into the squad. Not everyone's favorite, but I'm telling you, there's a reason why Jamaicans don't develop this part of the field. We don't care about this part of the field. We don't even see value in this part of the field for the most part. So Kevin Lambert, for me, great contingency plan. We know that he knows how to plug a gap. We know that he knows positionally where to be in terms of that central defensive midfield role. And to me, that's the biggest difference. Yes, others aren't as technical as Isaac and as comfortable on the ball, but even more than that, everyone else we seem to play there struggles with that positional sense. Even Latibo there, who is not the most laterally mobile, he tends to leave his area a lot as well. Not as much as Damian Lowe, right? But I think Kevin Lambert stays in position better than Latibo there. And if you remember, during that Gold Cup, it was Latibo there who was given more freedom to really go and find the football and find challenges. And they would kind of switch off in that Gold Cup. But to me, it was most effective when Lambert was the one sitting, because I think he just kind of understands that role a bit better. I think Latibo there wants to get into challenges, wants to win the ball. Not that Lambert doesn't, but I think Latibo there overextends himself sometimes and get himself into trouble positionally because of it, right? So I love Lambert's addition. I'm telling you, people will say, why are we going for Lambert again? We need a player like that in there. I know we're saying we're going to play a low block, but sometimes having that person to sit actually frees up your damn team, because you can push your right and left back. You can play your two midfielders with him a little bit higher, because you know he's going to be there to form that three if needed, or at least be that one in front of your back two so that people can recover in time. So that's why for me, Issac Hayden is a huge key. It's twofold. I think it frees up our attacking situation, lets our midfielders, who I think are more attacking minded anyway, focus on attacking more. Yes, they can't negate their defensive duties. I understand that. But you want them to have that freedom and that license to go and attack, because that's where they're going to really influence the game for Jamaica in a positive way. Without that stability of Hayden and the contingency plan, thank you so much, God, of Kevin Lambert in that midfield, then, you know, I think we're actually a lot better equipped to at least have that middle part of the field, that crucial middle part of the field, a little more stable. And that can only help us moving forward, trying to find the goals, trying to attack the other team. So that is what I will say about Hayden being a key, and why I think it's more of an exclamation than a question. But one thing that I love is the fact that if Hayden just physically can't get through what he needs to get through, we have requisite cover there. All right, people. So we'll have about, what, 13 or so minutes until the close of the program. So what I want to do, people, is I want to have an interactive thing now. I know I'm always the coach and the scout and the analyst. I'm telling them to shut up and listen to me. But today we're going to switch it up, people. We're going to actually let the comment section get involved for the last little part of the show. You guys, please remember, before we get started with this final exercise of the day, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Remember, consider as well, in the description of the channel is an easy way to support the channel. You can join and become a member. It's $1.99 for the monthly membership. It is just a way to pledge your support to the channel and keep the channel going. All right, we want to continue to improve over here. I want to be able to bring you more content. When you guys want content, I just run out with the content. But guess what? Mans need to survive. We have to put food on our table. So if I'm not getting anything from coming here, you know, I can only be able to show up when I have the time, because it has to make sense, right? Now, I would love to go to my actual job that I earn a living in, I don't know how long, one day, and just say, yo, I'm done enough, because my subscribers grow to the point where I can provide. You know what I'm saying? If that never happens, so be it. I will always forward and bring you football content, because I am going to watch football anyway. But how frequently I do it can change based on how well you support. All right, so keep that in mind when you're thinking about whether to like the video or not. How much do you actually like hearing Jason Gooner talk about football? If the answer is you love it, then like the damn video and join the damn channel, right? All right, cool. So now what we're going to do, people, we have the squad builder, and we're just going to use the squad builder to pick a starting 11 from the squad that we know we have, right? So people, like, share, subscribe, and let's get the squad builder going. Javari, I will give my 11. I want it first. try to get a feel for the crowd. I'm going to take the favorites and put them in the damn team. And then I will drop my 11 as the last thing we'll do in the show. All right? That's the plan, Javari. So any comment I missed talking about the Hayden conversation, big up to you lot. Hopefully you guys had the conversation amongst yourselves. I don't know if any questions were there. Okay, first responder say, I agree with you, but the coach weren't use Lambert, so what's the point? He's there as a contingency plan. I don't think he's a first choice use, but they'll use him in the Bermuda game, I think, if Hayden needs a rest, because I think the coach wants Hayden to probably play the entire Trinidad game if possible. So if he's going to take a minute to give him a break, I think it would be the first game we might look into see it. So, you know, taking him off and having a Lambert there to really still keep the positional integrity intact. Yes, that's important. So Tycoon war with Travis, what's new? From once Lati and Suchman injuries, a totally different Jamaica team. Suchman and Lati. Lambert is a CDM, I agree. Travis said, check my team in the chat. All right, so we know Travis vote them. So you want to see Travis team on the screen? All right, so I had built this when the squad first came out, I think. Or I don't know when I had built this, but I don't think this will work like this because Gray ain't there. So I think the coach will play 4-3-3 in Bermuda. All right, let me do this. Because Travis, I think, was Travis the first person to put a team on the screen? I think he was, you know. All right, so I'm going to work with Travis' team. So I'm saying, wait, Dexter, Holgate, Low, Lee. Wait, Dexter, Holgate, Low, Lee. All right, we have that already. Who else is now? Hayden, Russell, and Palmer. All right, I have that. Cephas, Brown, Dixon. All right, so the Unity Cup side minus Richard King, basically. So this would have been Dixon off the right-hand side. Cephas off this side. And Warner Brown. All right, so that's a Travis team. Maybe select a smaller. So we can see who I keep. All right, so that's Travis team, people. Wait, Lowan Holgate, Dexter Lee, Hayden, Palmer, Russell, and we kind of have it a little more like this. Palmer a little bit higher, Russell a little bit more like that. Yeah. So that's kind of how it would have set up. So yeah, that is Travis Peso team. So if you don't want, then you can drop a score for that one day. And I can drop a score for that one day. And instead of trying to get a consensus, because I know one don't like the same player them, I will just pick random teams out of the comment section and put, and we can have the discussion about people teams. So this is Travis Peso team on the screen. Let me move this comment so I can actually see the man damn team. All right, so that is Travis team right there. So Wait in goal, Dexter Lembikisa and Lee as the full backs, right and left back. Then we have Damian Lowe and Holgate at centre back. Issac Hayden at CDM, Russell at the CM, Casey Palmer at Cam, Dixon right, Cephas the left, and Warner Brown as the central forward or striker. So yeah, that is Travis team. So let me know what you guys rate Travis team. I mean, looking at Travis team, it's not really, it's probably not much I would change here. You know, some would argue Warner Brown for the continuity. I just feel like Bailey Cadamartier is the best striker there, to be honest. I mean, I watched all the guys play that are there, and he's the best striker, you know. I think Travis is probably looking at it like I like, because I've heard him say this, I like the Unity Cup, how they played. If I have the possibility to put out a team as close as possible to that, I'm going to do it. So that's what Travis go with it look like, you know. But we'll have some scores on the board. 8 from Pristine, 8 from Rob Smith. All right, Rob, I will try your team. Gooner, your 11 looks like the starting 11. However, with the uncertainty surrounding Gray, I would start Campbell on the left and replace Bowser with Warner Brown. All right, yeah. So that was kind of me trying to figure out what the coach might do, mixing with what I would do. But I never changed it from when Gray dropped out, so it kind of was messed up since then. All right, so Javari dropping his squad. So his squad's coming in, so we'll change them. Mario say a 5-1 victory. Cephas you would take out Cephas for Tyrese, says Cardinal. Knowing McLaren play the players with more experience at this time. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, so Travis get 2-8. Nobody else never really want to drop no score. May I give Travis team probably a 7 based on who in the squad. A couple of things I probably would do a little different, but I would definitely pick that midfield for sure. The back line and the goalkeeper. So the only thing I would tweak is the upfront choices. Personally, actually would pick the exact same back line and the exact same goalkeeper and midfield, but I would change the forward line. So that's why I would probably make 3 changes. So that's why I would say a 7, you know, or maybe 2 changes. Leon Bailey got injured, Quentin. Got injured in his first training session with his new club. Yeah, I get that. It's a tough one to just bring him on starting, but boy, it's one of them ones where in training when the man is bagging up everybody and just looking so sharp. If he's training like I saw him playing for Sheffield Wednesday so far, ain't no way the coach can look at him and say, yo, he's not the most ready to start. You know, but hey, every time I hear people talk about the training, you know, it's Warner Brown and Dixon are the best trainers, you know, every single time. So what I would give to just like be there and they don't know I'm there and I can just tell you what I saw. You know, I would give, I don't know what I would give to just see a training session this week and just come report to them like, well, within reason, because I don't want them to think I'm just here to tell the opponents everything. But all right, I would tell them after the game them done play what I saw. And that way them can't accuse me of, you know, oh, you have to tell the man them what we are trade. You know, because we'll World Cup at the end of the day. You know? All right, so that is Travis. The next team we did see come in after Travis now was who was it again? Okay, that's the scores. Okay, it was Javari. So Javari put this team up with Holgate, King, Dexter Lee, Hayden Palmer, Russell, Cephas left, Tyrese right, Brown up front. All right, so Dixon is the casualty from the starting lineup for Travis. So this is Javari. Javari Loban say he would bring in Tyrese Campbell to start on the right. Interesting one because Campbell can play either side, but typically for Charlton this season has operated off the left. But again, he does not have to operate there. He has the versatility to go either side. And Cephas off the left. And let me make sure that that's what he put, because he maybe never even put that, you know. Oh no, he did say Tyrese right wing. Okay, cool. So what you guys give Javari Loban's team? What you give Javari's team, people? Travis look like him get a 8, you know. So I like Travis team, you know. So Travis, the coach likes advisors. So maybe there's a spot out there for you, you know. All right, and then I know. Okay, so next up gave us 7. Travis said respect for the 7. Travis surprised, you know, because I don't think Travis ever give a team I'm gonna give more than 5, you know. So, but I mean, I'm going to be honest, Travis. If your team is a lot like what I would pick, I just tell you, I will have some changes in the forward line, but everything else I would pick the same damn thing. As I'm tell people, must like separate the person from what I'm talk about. Because me and Travis disagree almost every single time in life. But just because we disagree every single time, we can't look on the man team and lie to him and tell him, say, yo, I treat you forget it, because I don't like you. No, bro, we can't look on the team and give him a score based on the team. And I wish all of us as fans would do that and stop. As to use Tony last name, stop brush everybody with the same thing, brother, and just put each convo in context. Yeah, man, we can cuss this morning, agree tonight, tomorrow cuss, middle of the day, almost cuss, but we not really agree, then tomorrow we disagree. Bro, that's just life. And it don't have to mean you have to go disrespect people. You know? So Jack Drummond says same as Travis, just 2 changes. Let's see. He say I would change Dixon for Tyrese, okay, and replace Warner with Bailey. Yeah. So that actually was mine. That actually was mine, Jack. I would. It's all my team is almost exactly Javari's. I just wouldn't worry about new player this or that. I'm starting Bailey Cadamartieri. I'm sorry. The guy is going to be the best looking player in the forward line if you give him a chance. I know some of the fans not going to like that because of the history and everything, but I'm telling you, man. All right, so let me see. I don't want to disrespect Javari team. Okay, so some scores are coming in for Javari now. Yeah, Rob, I now miss your team. Your team I do after this. Sandre get a 8.5 to Javari. Next up, eat a 6.5. Okay, Logan, that is next team. Love Life Boss, that is next team. People them well want to put them team, them don't want to vote. So let's highlight a few more. Then me run off. So Rob Smith, before we get bad up. All right, this is Rob team. Let me see what I have to change. Lee, Holgate, Low, Duncan. So that's the first Kyle Duncan we have seen. When you're talking about Kyle Duncan, I think he had a better start to the season than recent. He's been having a few more bench appearances of late, but he did starting almost every game this season so far, and has made a lot of appearances. So I don't want to get the impression like he's not playing. He definitely has played more football than Dexter. Dexter is pretty much just now secured a loan move to Lincoln City, and he had been playing U21. I think he had 2 fixtures under his belt in the PL2 before making the loan move. So Kyle Duncan comes on in Rob Smith's team. Then we have Jersey in the building. Big up to Jersey. I used to live there at one point. All right, so we have who? Duncan, Hayden, Palmer, LW, and TC. Oh, left wing TC, Cam Dixon, right wing Cephas, striker Boza. Wow. All right, so Rob with some changes. So it looks like he's going with so Hayden Palmer double pivot. Basically, it looks like. I would think Hayden might be a little bit deeper. Not sure if you want to do it more like this. With Palmer here. Why didn't I just change the other guy's name? That would have been smarter. But Dixon and a cam roll. AM. And who we had? Cephas. No, Tyrese left. Cephas right. Okay. So let's switch these around. Cephas get the right wing. Campbell get the left wing. And up front, we're going to go with Boza. I think he said, right? So a bit of a change up in this system from what we've seen from others. Don't mind this midfield balance, to be honest. Maybe not the personnel I would use, but having a like true cam, I don't hate that, right? So let's see what people think about Rob's team. This is, and I've had Low as the captain for everyone. I don't think anybody would have changed that. I don't think. So can let me know if anybody want me to change them captain. But that's Rob Smith's team, people. This is actually a different take on the team that we have seen so far. So Rob has his own thoughts on what is the best strategy. 7.5 pristine set. Rob get an 8 from Travis. Rob says he's not a fan of Russell game. Yeah, I remember you saying that many times. Corey said McLaren told me that he's going to start Cephas and Tyrese. All right. So everybody remember Corey's comment on Wednesday, September the 3rd. So now beat him if that don't happen. Quentin Jackson give it an 8 as well. All right. So me personally, this team right here, I'm gonna probably give this team 1 less than Travis. I gave Travis a 7. I have to give this a 6. Yeah. I think I have the players right. Low Holgate, Duncan Lee. Or maybe a 6.5. 6 might be a little harsh. Because I like the shape. Like I like the, a dedicated cam. I like that. But I don't know if I love Dixon there. And I definitely wouldn't start Bosa. For sure. So we have some different opinions on the personnel, but I do like the team shape. If I have the shape represented right on the screen. I think Palmer will offer more. Palmer offer more in the build-up, and Dixon will drop to support. Yeah, like I said, the function of the system or how you have it on the screen or how it would set up, I don't hate it. I just maybe would just tweak the personnel a little bit. That's all. All right. So somebody say, who is it? Logan. Logan give this side a 6. Travis. Oh, so Travis give this a 5.5. So Travis must have was giving the 8 to the previous team. That must have been Loban team. Oh, but him give this a 8. So, man, I'm confused. Can you give Rob a 8? But it's a Rob team still, and you say 5.5. So, I don't know. I'm confused. Or Rob go from 8 to 5.5. You just a preset Bowser start? And that reach Rob Smith score? I don't know. I saw Bowser get mashed up when him see that. All right, so Odell Low. See your team now too. So let's see. Wait, Dexter Holgate, Low Duncan. Okay, so this is the first one I've seen put Dexter at left back. This is a new one. We know Dexter can play there. He's been playing there for his U21 side. Played there for the Wolves first team before as well. So that's the first time we have seen a Duncan and Dexter fullback partnership. We have Hayden, Palmer, Russell, Campbell, Dixon, Kada. Hayden, Palmer, Russell. So this will probably be more like what we're seeing the coach doing typically. Hayden, Palmer, Russell. And then who else? Hey man gone? Yo, oh the blue. Sure. All right, Palmer, Oh my gosh. Why does this keep happening? Sure. At this Russell really want to go play more while now. We hope so. Alright. Alright, so we have Russell. And I think you was taking off Cephas, right? Pretty sure. Yeah, Odell say Russell Campbell Dixon. Oh no, so you do have him, and you do have him and Cats. So Odell Low, switch it up. Make sure I have the man side right. Wait, Dexter Holgate. Campbell Dixon, Cats. Yeah, that's what he has, people. So no Cephas, no Greg Lee. It's kind of the two that other people have. And no Brown, no Boza. So what you guys think about Odell Low side? And then I have to find Mario Logan side because him there bad me up as well. Duncan is a right back. Okay, found Mario's side. So this one is Odell Low. So let me know what you think about Odell Low side. Let me know what you think about Odell Low side. I believe Jay anyway that is. I believe Dre anyway that is. Well, let me not say that. Dre, if you'd like me to put your team on the screen, let me know. I just want to make sure that it's not an attempt to troll and this is really what you would like to see. Just let me know. I don't want to assume anything. All right, so that is Odell Low side, people. Drop a score for Odell Low. Let me see. Odell Low give himself a 10, which is right. Christine says 7. I think this is a 7.5. All right. 7 says Mario. 6.5 for Odell says next up. Odell Low knows the deal. Yeah, man. You have to fix your average by voting on yourself. No. I was actually doing Logan next, I was actually doing Logan next. Actually, that's crazy you said that because I was doing Logan next. 7 for Odell Low team. 6. 6. You live in the diaspora. Stop your madness. Make some man in a chat that disrespect local born. Travis. Where's Dre? That team there drop domino score. All right, boss. Odell Low say, yo, the two bad man in the 6 them man and leave off a circle for the 8, Bell over Low. But Bell not there. Energy Bell not there, If you talk about John Bell, All right, so so it worked on one of them Low. Conrad gave the 8, brother. When say you ask feet, you body him up, him give the 8. All right, Logan, that's our next one. People in the comment section saying I have to highlight Logan side. So let me go back to Logan side. I did find it, All right, see it here. So let's get it on the screen so I know. Wait, goalkeeper Lee, Holgate, Low, Duncan. All right, so let's make the adjustment at left back right away. So Lee instead of Dexter. So interesting that right back position, based on what the fans saying, is kind of up for grabs because we're getting about the same amount for Duncan as for Dexter. That's interesting. Hayden Russell Palmer has been predominantly the midfield for most people. And then we have Cephas Campbell and Bailey Karamartiri. So this is a different lineup again. So Cephas off the left, Tyrese off the right, and Bailey C up front. So that is Mario Logan team. I don't hate this team, Mario Logan. I don't hate this team. I'm torn between starting Dixon or Cephas. I'm going to be honest. Now, if we had Daniel Johnson, then I would have a whole different team, but we don't have him. So, all right, this is not my team, people. This is Mario Logan's team. So put in the comment section, and it's helpful if you put at Mario, probably, so we'll know that you're rating Mario side. But this is Mario Logan's team in goal: Waite, Lee, Holgate, Lowe, Duncan, Hayden, Palmer, Russell, Cephas, Campbell, and Bailey, Kadamar, Terry. Eras get bad up and get the 8 as well. One get 8. Big up one in the building. Long time, bro. Hope all is well. One big up everybody. Big up the legend, one, you know. I didn't look at the squad, so I don't know, but that was a good team. All right, so I think that was it Odell Lowe that we just did before this? I think Odell Lowe's team was before that, yeah. His team was pretty good. Logan get a 8, so I had 1. Javari give this one a 9. Big up to Javari. 7 for Mario Logan. 9 for Mario. So Pastor gave him a 6. Energy gone to the 9.2. 7.5. Play Bailey in every game till his legs fall off. Everybody else bench. Yeah, 9.2, man. He was breaking down everything, you know, like 9.2 was the perfect score, you know. Can't hate on that, man. Game score. All right, people. I give enough 16 extra minutes out of my day, but it is time, I must say, to call this one an end. All right, people. I just want to say maximum respect to you lot. Jack Drummond gave you a 10. So, yo, no more scores. And we're going to get rid of the screen as well because we're going to end on a 10. You know what I mean? Can we change captain? You're the first time somebody asked, you know, I had the captain low from day started up. And I had one, I almost got to the end of the show and nobody never mentioned it. But yeah, I had to. Yeah, I think Damian Lowe will be the captain though, darling. I really do. Yes, he started both games so far. What a win. 127 likes. Clap on yourselves, people. Clap on yourselves. Clap on yourselves. And thanks to each and every one of you who got involved. If I did not get your team on the screen, no disrespect, but the teams are in the live chat and we do have them replaying. So rewatch the video, see your team, see what you think. Thanks so much for you guys taking part. Everybody that was here from start to finish, you have reached legendary status. I had one. You probably made the first comment on the show today. Punroy did actually dropping a super sticker, so respect again to Punroy, putting $20 US on the board today. We greatly appreciate that. And I had one. You basically had the first comment after the super sticker, and I think you might have the last one. So big up to you. You are really the star of the show today because you have been around all throughout and you have made your presence felt by commenting and dropping your thoughts and just overall participating in the show. So we greatly appreciate how in tune you are. Also, big up to the mod that was here for the longest, I think, today, Eras, for constantly reminding us, and that's why we're able to achieve such a great like total on the video today. It doesn't hurt to be reminding folks. Big up to all the content creators that passed through today. I know sometimes as a content creator, you might not say something every time you watch content just because you don't want to take away from the person and their show or whatever the case is. So thanks for all of you who came and didn't say a word and watched, and also those who came and felt the need to announce their presence. We greatly appreciate all of you lot. I may not agree with a lot of you on some of your takes, but at the end of the day, the more views that you guys get, it will reciprocate and I will get more views. And the quicker you guys realize that, not saying we have to sing Kumbaya and be best friends, but there's no sense in fighting out another person that will attract people to YouTube because you also are on YouTube. So just let that sink in, people. Anyway, big up on yourselves. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. And remember, it's match day -2 right now. So you know match day -1, the first tactical preview show of the window, where we break down in detail the opponents, their players, and also by tomorrow we'll probably find out some more about our players and who's there. So until next time, people, thanks so much for all the engagement and for tuning in. And always remember, Jamaica Reggae Boys can really, really raise your stress level. But what we try to do is try to have the conversations a little more measured when we at least on YouTube. Now, when we hang up, when we turn off the camera and we in our day-to-day and we are talking about Jamaica, yeah, we might lose our cool from time to time. But we try to stay calm here because we know people are going to watch it back and we don't want people to freak out if we can help it. So we try to have the conversation and try to stay calm. It don't always work out that way, but hopefully today we're able to get our points across and they're easily digestible and understandable because that is the key. There's no point turning on the camera just for chat and nobody know I hear it or nobody understand it. So hopefully everything came through coherently and clearly and you guys have a greater idea of what to look to in terms of this squad and what we can do. Best 11, how we can do it. But tomorrow we'll dive even deeper into the topic and discuss the opponents, what they bring to the table, and how we can stop them from doing what they want to do, and we can leave Bermuda with the 3 points that we so desperately want. All right? Big up, and thanks again for the support. I'm Jason Gooner. This is Jason Gooner TV. Until later, people. Bless.